A simple woman named Claire Evans was viciously mocked, drenched in wine, and publicly shamed at the dazzling Starlight charity auction in Los Angeles. Her quiet dignity torn apart by a famous actress and her cruel posse, until her billionaire fiancé, Ethan Caldwell, emerged to shatter their world with a vengeance they'd never see coming. Claire stood dripping and humiliated, her beauty stark against their venom, but a spark in her eyes promised a twist that would leave them all reeling. Who was she, and what power was about to strike? The grand ballroom sparkled under chandeliers that cast golden light across tables adorned with crystal flutes and velvet napkins. Claire sat near the front, her simple black dress a thrift store find, hugging her slender frame. Her auburn hair fell in soft waves, framing a face so naturally beautiful it could stop traffic. But tonight, she was a quiet figure among the dazzling crowd. She'd earned her rising fame as an actress through grit and talent, not connections. And she'd come to bid on a few items for charity, not to flaunt her budding stardom. The trouble started the moment Vanessa Hart spotted her. Vanessa, a Hollywood A-lister with platinum blonde hair and a reputation for drama, strutted over with her boyfriend, Bryce Tanner, a cocky tech mogul in a flashy suit. Well, Vanessa drawled, her voice loud enough to turn heads. Who let the discount rack in? She flicked her eyes over Claire's dress, smirking. Sweetie, this is a charity auction, not a garage sale. Did you get lost on your way to the food bank? Laughter rippled through Vanessa's entourage. Her assistant, Mia Lopez, a wiry girl with a tablet, and a gaggle of hangers-on who trailed her like shadows. Claire's cheeks flushed, but she offered a small smile and said nothing. Her hands folded calmly in her lap. Bryce leaned in, his grin sharp. Seriously, kid, you can't even afford the napkin on this table. Why are you even here? To gawk at the big leagues? Mia chimed in, tapping her tablet with a snicker. She probably thinks a bid paddle's for fanning herself. Cute. The group erupted in cackles, drawing curious glances from nearby tables. Claire adjusted her paddle, number 47, and kept her gaze steady on the stage, where the auctioneer was warming up the crowd. She didn't need to prove herself to them. Her latest indie film had just won an award, but she wore her success like she wore her dress, quietly, without fuss. The first item up was a signed guitar from a rock legend. Claire raised her paddle at $5,000, her voice soft but clear. Vanessa's head whipped around, and she barked a bid of $10,000, then turned to Claire with a sneer. Oops, too rich for your blood, huh? Stick to the dollar store, darling. Bryce jumped in, upping it to $15,000, his eyes glinting with malice. Let's save her the embarrassment. She's clearly out of her depth. The crowd tittered, and Claire lowered her paddle, her expression unruffled. She wasn't here to compete with their egos. She just wanted to support the cause. It didn't stop. A vintage wine collection came next, starting at $8,000. Claire bid $9,000, and Vanessa immediately countered with $20,000, her voice dripping with mockery. Oh, honey, don't strain yourself. That's more than your rent, right? Mia leaned over, loud whispering to the group. She's probably never even tasted wine that didn't come in a box. More laughter, sharper now, cutting through the hum of the room. Bryce raised it to $30,000, flashing Claire a smug wink. Stay in your lane, kiddo. This is grown-up stuff. Claire's fingers tightened around her paddle, but she stayed silent, her hazel eyes fixed ahead, her dignity a shield against their barbs. The insults grew bolder. When a diamond bracelet hit the block, Claire bid $12,000, her voice steady despite the heat creeping up her neck. Vanessa pounced, shouting $25,000, then spun around. What's next, Claire? Gonna bid with your piggy bank? Oh, wait, you'd need to own one first. The entourage howled, and a few other guests joined in, their chuckles a chorus of condescension. Bryce leaned back, smirking. She's a charity case herself. Look at that dress. Bet it's got moth holes. Mia snapped a photo with her tablet, muttering, This is going viral. Actress or hobo? Claire's heart pounded. But she didn't flinch. She'd faced worse auditions than this crowd, and she wouldn't give them the satisfaction of a reaction. Vanessa stepped closer, her heels clicking menacingly as she snatched Claire's paddle from the table and held it up like a trophy. "Look at this, everyone!" she shouted, her voice slicing through the ballroom. She actually thought she could play with the big dogs. "What's your next bid, Claire? $5 and a coupon? Maybe you can pawn that dress for a few cents." Bryce grabbed a glass of champagne and accidentally splashed it across Claire's lap, smirking as it soaked her skirt. "Oops, my bad. Thought you needed a wash." Mia cackled, filming the whole thing, zooming in on Claire's drenched dress as the entourage roared with laughter. "Hashtag charity case!" she yelled, while guests nearby gawked, some giggling, others whispering in shock. Claire sat still, her face burning but her posture perfect, the cruelty raining down like a storm she refused to acknowledge. By the 10th item, a private island getaway, Claire's every bid was a target. She'd raise her paddle, and they'd swoop in, outbidding her with glee, each jab more vicious. "She's delusional," Vanessa hissed, loud enough for half the room to hear. "Thinks she's one of us because she got lucky with some low-budget flick." Bryce added, "Yeah, stick to community theater, sweetheart. You're embarrassing yourself." The group's laughter echoed, and a few onlookers whispered behind their hands, their pitying stares burning into Claire. She sat tall, her beauty stark against their cruelty, but inside, the weight of their words pressed hard. Then came the final item, the night's crown jewel, a royal queen's crown encrusted with sapphires and diamonds, once worn by European royalty. The auctioneer's voice boomed, "Starting at $1 million. The room buzzed with excitement. Claire watched silently, her paddle still. Vanessa nudged Bryce. "Get it for me, babe. I'd look killer in that." Bryce grinned, raising his paddle. $2 million! A few gasps sounded, but no one challenged him, until a voice from the back called, $5 million. Heads turned, but the bidder stayed hidden in the shadows. Bryce scowled, upping it to $6 million. The mystery voice countered, cool and firm. $10 million. The crowd murmured, tension crackling. Bryce, red-faced, shouted, $15 million? The voice replied, $50 million. A stunned hush fell. The auctioneer stammered, $50 million? Going once, twice. Sold." Bryce smirked, thinking he'd won, but the auctioneer clarified, "To the gentleman in the back." Vanessa's jaw dropped as a tall figure emerged from the darkness, striding toward the stage with purpose. He was breathtaking. Dark hair, piercing blue eyes, a tailored suit that screamed wealth. Ethan Caldwell, billionaire mogul of Caldwell Ventures, a man who'd built an empire in finance and tech, his name synonymous with power across the globe. Whispers raced through the room as he took the microphone, his voice deep and commanding. "That crown's not for me," he said, a faint smile tugging at his lips. "I bid on it for the most beautiful woman here tonight." The crowd held its breath as Ethan stepped off the stage and walked straight to Claire. Her eyes widened, but she stayed composed as he stopped in front of her, the crown gleaming in his hands. "Claire Evans," he said, loud enough for all to hear. "You're the real gem in this room. I've watched you shine through every insult tonight, and I can't wait another second." He dropped to one knee, pulling a ring from his pocket, a diamond that dwarfed anything on the block. "Will you marry me?" Gasps erupted. Claire's lips parted, then curved into a soft smile. "Yes," she said simply, her voice steady. The room exploded in applause as Ethan slid the ring onto her finger and placed the crown on her head, her auburn hair glowing beneath it. Vanessa's face twisted in fury. "What the hell is this? Her?" Bryce stood, fists clenched. "Who is this guy?" Ethan turned, his gaze ice cold. I'm her fiancé, Ethan Caldwell, and I've had enough of you treating her like garbage." He faced the crowd, his voice cutting through the chaos. "Claire's a star. Talent, grace, heart. You all saw how they mocked her, outbid her, shamed her for no reason but their own arrogance. That ends now." He pointed at Vanessa. "You're done in this industry. I own half the media outlets in this city. Your name's blacklisted as of tonight." Vanessa shrieked, "You can't!" Ethan cut her off. "I already did." Then he turned to Bryce. "And you? Your little tech firm? I just bought it out from under you. It's bankrupt by morning. Enjoy the unemployment line." Bryce lunged forward, shouting, "I'll sue you!" Ethan didn't flinch. "Try it. My lawyers eat guys like you for breakfast." Ethan's gaze swept the room, his voice rising with a cold fury that made the chandeliers tremble. "You thought you could break her? Look at her. She's still standing, stronger than any of you. Vanessa, your career's not just over. I'm pulling every endorsement deal you've got. Tonight. Bryce, your company's stock is crashing as we speak. I've got investors dumping it faster than you can blink. And Mia, no assistant gig will touch you. You're a nobody now." He placed the crown gently on Claire's head, his eyes softening as the crowd cheered wildly. "This is what real worth looks like," he said, "and you'll spend the rest of your lives regretting the day you crossed her." Vanessa collapsed into a chair, sobbing hysterically, while Bryce's face turned ashen, his empire crumbling in real time before their eyes. Security swarmed in, grabbing Bryce as he flailed, Vanessa sobbing beside him. Mia dropped her tablet, backing away. The trio was dragged off, their protests fading into the stunned silence of the ballroom. Ethan turned back to Claire, taking her hand. "You okay?" She nodded, the crown catching the light as she smiled. "Better now." He kissed her knuckles, then led her to the center of the room as the crowd parted, some clapping, others filming the drama. The auctioneer, still reeling, stammered a closing remark, but no one cared. The night belonged to Claire and Ethan. Vanessa's career was ashes, Bryce's fortune gone, Mia's ambitions crushed. All in minutes, all because they'd underestimated the wrong woman. As they walked out, the crown atop Claire's head and Ethan's arm around her, she glanced back once, not at her tormentors, but at the room that had witnessed her rise. She'd come as a simple actress and left as a queen, her strength unshaken, her future dazzling. The bullies had fallen, and the night was hers. Hey, if you loved this story, hit that like button, share it with your friends, drop a comment, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more epic tales of triumph. Thanks for watching.